See, I don't think actually women are conscious. I don't think that they have the same consciousness that men do, nor do they have anywhere near the same potential for consciousness that the male does. So that's a bit different there again. And why I say this is because women, you know how they're always wanting things, as you were describing, and they want more and more materialistic things, and they want the husband to be there emotionally for them, and they want kids to live through, you know, basically spit the kids out so that you can, you know, show them off and say, well, I'm a mother. All that sort of stuff. They need all these props. But how come somebody that seemingly is supposed to be equally as conscious, well, that's what, you know, the feminists want to tell us, that they're equally as conscious as men. How come these, you know, things need all these props? It must be because they don't actually have the same sort of inner existence as men do. Men don't need all those props. You were saying before, men can, you know, go out, live out in the bush and be their own man and live independently, but women couldn't do that. I mean, if you put her, you know, what's the good of being independent and alone for a woman? You know, that's the opposite to being a woman. So the thing is that if you know, men have to accept that they are the conscious ones. They have an inner life. They have that potential to be more than just themselves. They have that potential to look out at something that isn't just, you know, to do with them. It's something apart from them, something more important than them. And yet, so they have that potential, whereas women don't have that potential. So they don't actually have thoughts per se. They don't have the same sort of intellectual curiosity or ability to reason like men do. So, Rich, I don't understand still how you think, well, yeah, how do you think men basically got to this point in history? Here we are, you know, 2007, you know, surely, you know, we had all, as Dan was just saying, the world is relatively much safer than when we had wolves and big cats running after us. How come, you know, men haven't used this ability, their consciousness, and really just gone, oh, look, shove it, women. We're not playing the game anymore. We're going to actually, you know, go off and be individuals and bugger you.
Well, because I think, like I say, historically, there is this, the kinds of men who have survived historically are not those kinds of men. The men who walk, you know, there are men who walked 3,000 years ago who walked off into the jungle, and I don't have their genes in me. I'm telling you, this so much of this is evolution and biology. But you've said some really unbelievably good things. There were 3 or 4 that I wish I could address. One of them has to do with women's basic level of insecurity. It's called shame as opposed to guilt. Shame is when you feel bad about yourself and you don't know why. Guilt is when you did something wrong, so you know why you feel bad about yourself. But women are much more deeply shamed than men. And you could sit down and watch TV. You know, it's constantly, the men are stupid, the wife is telling the guy what to buy. I mean, it suffuses our culture. And all you have to do is imagine doing the obverse of those commercials where the man knows everything and the woman, you know, is just a bimbo, and nobody would respond to those commercials, and they turn the TVs off. I mean, there's a layer of sensitivity that women have that's probably good for some kind of family relations or something that I don't understand. But I want to get back to the obliviousness issue because that's what you're really talking about here. And I want to read this 3-minute thing, Dan, okay? Are men the oppressors of women, or are women the oppressors of men? This is part of the answer to Sue's thing, because men don't understand this. A woman wakes up in the morning in a house built by men. She starts the water to boil on a stove built by men, and sits at a chair and table put there by men, to read a newspaper written in part by women, but printed and delivered by men. She nibbles some toast made from grains grown and harvested by men. Whoops! Time to take a shower. She turns a faucet handle installed by a man, and lo and behold, out comes hot water, delivered by a vastly complicated water system built by men. She drives to work in a car built by men, on roads built by men, powered by petroleum, drilled and refined and delivered by men. She arrives at an office building built by men. She walks to her desk, fires up her computer, and glances out her window at a city built by men, full of potential customers for her service business. Out of the corner of her eye, a table in the conference room that seems awkwardly out of place snags her attention. She strokes her earlobe. At that moment, the janitor scoots by in the hallway. "Bob, oh Bob, could you please move that table further into the corner? You're such a dear." She pins him with a delectable and utterly phony smile. Bob, oblivious to the cheapness of the words and falseness of the smile, thrilled to get any attention at all from such an attractive person, Bob pitches right in. And as he lugs one corner of the heavy table across the carpet, she exhales a comfortable sigh. Her day has begun. She will spend the next 8 to 10 hours telling other people what to do. That's her understanding of work. This creature, who has no idea where things come from, how they are made, and has not the slightest knowledge about how the world works, has been put in charge of it, because there is really nothing else of any specific value she could be doing. Podcast number 12, The Rude Guy.
And right now, 1,000 feminists have either fainted or are breaking out the steak knives.
Well, it's the reality. You know, what world did we grow up in? I've been in Tonga in Peru, where you wake up and it's not a man-made world. Everything out there is made by nature. You know, the birds, the trees, there's no electricity. There's nothing out there except stuff that was made, you know, by nature. And modern people live in cities where everything is literally man-made. Every time you flip on a light switch, all this stuff. And so as Sue started talking out about it, and one of my basic principles is that you can answer what women want with one word. The word is more. If they wake up in the jungle, they want, you know, a better straw roof on their house. If they wake up in a modern city, they want more appliances for their kitchen. It's every single day starts from where they got up, and they want more of something. Right or wrong, Sue? I don't know.
Correct, absolutely correct. Yes, there is no end to her wants and needs.
Yeah.
And there will never be.
But what's the reason for that?
Easily because she doesn't have any connection to the world other than through woman. And woman is, by her very nature, you were talking about biology before, Rich, by her very nature is never satisfied, can never be satisfied, because she actually has no connection to anything. There is not that depth of mind to allow her to have a connection. So it's all just superficial. It's all very shallow. It's all spontaneous. Nothing is deep. You were saying before, Rich, about men having deeper emotions. Of course they've got deeper emotions. They actually have an inner self to house those deeper emotions. Women don't have that. It's all just now. Everything is in the present moment. And of course, this is why she doesn't have to do any of those things you were talking about, Rich. She doesn't have to build a table or build a computer or do the janitor's job or go fight a war or be a cop if she doesn't want to, that is. She doesn't have to because it doesn't serve her or, most importantly, it doesn't serve woman. You were saying earlier about woman being born fully formed. She comes out as a woman. She lives her whole life as that, Rich. She doesn't gain anything from doing anything. She doesn't gain anything from being Prime Minister or President of the United States. She doesn't gain anything from being the CEO of a major corporation, nor does she gain anything from being able to understand the feminine. She definitely will not ever understand the feminine, because if she did, she then automatically removes herself from it. She automatically becomes masculine. So this is why she has no need to be worrying about or being grateful. Oh, spit chips, oh, vomit. Gosh, a woman being grateful, that would actually imply that she had those deeper emotions. So yes, you're spot on, Rich.